Welcome to Plugged In Australia Quick Charge, the shorter version of the show for when you want the main EV news without the full deep dive. This is episode 51 for Friday, May 8, 2026, and today we're looking at JAC's next move beyond utes, Xpeng owner Reassurance during TrueEV's legal fight, Omoda's next small SUV, Geely's slow build Australian strategy, and the Lexus TZ, a large 3-row luxury electric SUV now officially under assessment for Australia. Let's get into it. First up, JAC could be preparing its first passenger EV for Australia. The brand is bringing in a single JAC E30X evaluation vehicle to see whether the small electric hatch makes sense for local showrooms. It is not confirmed for sale yet, but if the business case works, it could arrive as early as 2027. This is important because the E30X could potentially become a new budget EV rival to the Atto 1, currently Australia's cheapest new electric car. The E30X measures just over 4 metres long, uses front-wheel drive, and in China is available with a 41 kWh and 51 kWh lithium iron phosphate battery. Claimed Chinese range is between 405 and 505 kilometres on the CLTC cycle. However, those figures are always more generous than WLTP or real-world Australian driving. The important point is price positioning. In China, the EX30 has been priced very close to the Atto 1. That does not mean Australia will get a super cheap EV at Chinese pricing, but it does show JAC wants this car to sit at the affordable end of the market. If JAC can land it with a sharp price, decent range, a proper safety rating and a strong warranty, it could become a serious budget EV option. Staying with JAC, the brand could be looking in the opposite direction as well. The brand is considering a premium electric line under the Define name. That could put it up against brands like Denza, Zeekr, IM and Way. The Define concepts use a 1000 volt electric architecture, and the Define S sedan has been reported with a tri-motor drivetrain, producing 590 kilowatts with a 0 to 100 time of 2.3 seconds. Sounds pretty impressive, but premium is not just about performance. In Australia, JAC still has to build trust, brand awareness, dealer confidence, service support and resale credibility. So for now, Define is more of a signpost than a confirmed local launch. Next, Xpeng owners have received some reassurance from TrueEV. TrueEV, the Australian distributor for Xpeng, has sent a customer letter saying warranties continue to be supported, cashback offers are still being processed, and after-sales support remains a priority. That matters because TrueEV is still involved in a legal dispute with Xpeng. The court battle is not over, and there has been uncertainty around the future of Xpeng in Australia. Xpeng Motors Australia has also set up its own local operation, pointing towards a more direct factory-backed model that could be positive long-term. However, during the transition, owners understandably want certainty. The message is pretty simple. Owners should keep records of everything: warranty documents, service history, cashback claims and emails. Australian consumer law still provides protections. However, stable service, parts and communication are what owners really need day to day. Now to Omoda. The Omoda 4 is due in Australia in the first quarter of 2027. It will sit below the Omoda 7 and Omoda 9, and it is expected to come with a range of global powertrains, including petrol, hybrid, plug-in hybrid and full electric options. It is a small SUV around 4.4 metres long, aimed at younger buyers with sharp styling, a coupe-like roofline, bold LED lighting and a tech-heavy interior. Inside, early details point to a 13.2-inch touchscreen, digital instruments, 50-watt wireless phone charging and a fighter jet style smart switch. The plug-in hybrid version is expected to use a 1.5-litre turbo petrol engine paired with an electrified drivetrain, while the EV version is expected to offer up to 430 kilometres of range. For Australia, the Omoda 4 could be very relevant if pricing is sharp. The small SUV market is massive and buyers are starting to expect electrified options. But Omoda JAC will need to keep the lineup clear, because with Omoda and JAC nameplates multiplying quickly, it could become confusing for normal buyers. Next to Geely. And Geely appears to be taking a slower approach in Australia than some other Chinese brands, and they may actually be smart. The brand launched locally with the EX5 electric SUV, followed by the Starry EM plug-in hybrid. Next comes the EX2, a small hatch due in the third quarter of 2026. The EX2 is a major car globally. In China, it was the country's best-selling car in 2025, with more than 465,000 sales. In Australia, it is expected to sit around the $30,000 mark, putting it against cars like the BYD Dolphin, MG4 Urban, JAC Aeon UT, and the BYD Atto 1. In South African specification, the EX2 has a 39.4 kWh LFP battery, an 85 kilowatt rear motor, 325 kilometers of WLTP range, and 70 kilowatt DC charging. It isn't fast, but looks practical, with a 375 litre boot, up to 1,320 litres with the seats folded, plus a 70 litre frunk. Geely also has more models planned, including a larger plug-in hybrid SUV and a possible plug-in hybrid sedan to rival the Toyota Camry. The key for Geely is execution. It has strong global backing, however Australians will judge it on service, parts, software, warranty and ownership experience. A slower rollout could help it build that foundation properly. Finally, Lexus has revealed the TZ. This is Lexus's first 3-row electric SUV, and Lexus Australia is assessing it for local launch. The TZ is a large vehicle measuring about 5,100mm long with a 3,050mm wheelbase. It is related to Toyota's electric Highlander and Subaru's Getaway, but with Lexus's luxury treatment. Battery options include 76.96 kWh and 95.82 kWh packs, with reports pointing to up to 530 kilometers of WLTP range in some versions. It is dual motor all-wheel drive only, with around 300 kilowatts, with a 0 to 100 time of around 5.4 seconds. Charging is reported at up to 150 kilowatts, with a 10 to 80% charge in around 35 minutes. That's usable, but it's not class-leading. Inside, the TZ is the kind of EV Australia needs more of. Proper family space, 6 or 7 seat layouts, heated seats, ventilated front and second row seats, power ottomans, a 21 speaker Mark Levinson sound system, soft closed doors, a panoramic glass roof, and a more premium cabin to the Toyota version. The Australian question will be price. Rivals include the Volvo EX90, Cadillac Vistic, Hyundai Ioniq 9 and Kia EV9. If Lexus can bring the TZ here with the larger battery, right-hand drive supply and pricing that stays competitive, it could be one of the most important luxury EV SUVs in Australia. And that is a wrap for Quick Charge for episode 51. For the full episode, we go deeper into JAC's affordable and premium EV plans, what the TrueEV update means for Xpeng owners. We go into the Omoda's 2027 SUV push, Geely's slower Australian strategy, and all the details on the Lexus TZ. As always, thank you very much for listening, and until the next time, stay plugged in and stay charged. Ci vediamo.